This is for you. The Anglican Shop, upstairs JTA at the Couver Shopping Center. Come visit us on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 until 3 p.m. and on Fridays from 11 to 4 p.m. You would not be disappointed. The Anglican Shop, we're here to serve you and provide you with excellent customer service. Waiting to see you soon.
We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God. We are marching in the light of God.
Hi everyone, I'm Hermes, and I want to welcome you to our Soouth Region Youth Panchayat, where we discuss with some of our region's youth what they enjoy about being Anglican. We hope you enjoy this chat as much as we did chatting with them.
So just a bit of an idea as to what it is. Tafari, can you show us your entire face, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Right. Just to give you an idea of what it is about. So for the Lantern Caravan, each region has been asked to feature the youth and young adults in their region. And as a region, we have chosen to host, for want of a better term, a panchayat, which is basically us looking at ourselves as young people in our respective regions. And then at the end of it all, actually, I'm going to ask the two older ones among us for now, that's Andre, you and Cordell, if you had to leave some words of wisdom with those coming up behind you, what would you say to them? Right? So I'm going to give everyone an opportunity to introduce themselves. I will start based on how I'm seeing it on my screens. So everyone, so Sean, I'd like you to begin. Tell us your first name and the parish you come from, and what ministries you might be involved in your parish.
My name is Sean Allen. I came from the Holy Cross Parish, St. Peter's. What was the question after?
And what ministries might you be involved in at church? So it might be music, it might be serving.
Oh yeah, I'm serving.
Mm-hmm. So you're a server
in the altar.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great, cool. Next one, Tafari, you're next.
Hi, my name is Sophie Springer. I am from Sunday school on the promenade, and well, I am involved in being in church, participating, trying to learn more about God, trying to learn more about Him,
Okay.
and trying to be a better person.
That's great, thank you. Cordell, tell us about yourself.
Okay, so good evening again, everyone. I'm from the parish of St. Christopher's, that's Superior. I am a server, but I'm currently more active in the choir because we have enough servers so that we could be on rotation. And I function in the youth group and where necessary in the parish.
Okay, thank you. Tyrese?
You okay hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Tyrese. I currently attend the Sunday school in St. Paul of the Promenade. And so far, just trying to learn more about God to better myself, to learn better about Him.
Thank you. Brianne, you tell us about yourself.
I'm Brianne. I'm from the parish of St. Mark in Point Fortin, and I'm a server.
Okay, thank you. Andre?
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Ayres. My role, I am a member of Grace Church in New Grant. That's my parish also too. I have been a member of youth groups. I have been a member or have assisted in Sunday school. I have served as a member and representative on the South Regional Anglican Youth Council. I even held a post at that level, and I have been involved in the Anglican Church at many different levels over the past years.
Okay, thank you. And finally, Aisha, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi, I'm Aisha. I attend St. Mark Parish Church in Point Fortin, and I'm a server.
Okay. And we have Father Mon. Does everyone know Father Mon? Father Mon, tell us about yourself. And what ministry are you involved in, Father Mon? You're muted.
Yes. So I am an ordained priest and I serve as assistant curate in the parish of St. Paul.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for that. So I want to ask a question, right? And this is just to get us waxing warm. What was your first or earliest memory of being in church? So think back. For some of us, it might be less thinking back than for others. But tell us, what was your first memory, the earliest memory you had of being in church?
Excuse me, can you explain that over?
What the first time you went to church, do you remember? Well, apart from your baptism, because you wouldn't remember that one, what might have been the first thing you remembered about being in church?
Well, miss,
Yes.
I remembered all this singing, miss. It was beautiful, miss.
Okay, so you remember the
Music in my
singing.
ears. Yes, miss.
Thank you. What about you, Cordell? What's the first memory you had in church? I hope I'm not stretching your mind too much.
No. It's funny that you mentioned the baptism, but I was baptized in the nude, and I had photos of that. So it's like, why did they do the whole church? And they have an album full of pictures. So there's that to remind me, passing from hand to hand with my godparents. But my earliest memory would have to be in my church, just growing up, because it's like a family church. So my congregation is in Barnabas, on a hill as well, but that's in Mondiablo, in the parish of St. Christopher. And it's all family-like, so, you have that nature in the auntie, the uncle, and everybody just kind of growing you up in the church. So then you'd be prompted sometime to do a reading, to help with the singing. You would be pushed to, learn an instrument. So everybody would be a part of the service. But that's my earliest memory.
Okay, thanks for sharing, and thanks for going out there and sharing that memory. Sean, what about you? Do you have an early memory, or what's your first memory of being in church?
I should say when I was in church, I watched my cousin serve the altar.
Okay, and that's great.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the singing as well. Mostly those two.
Okay. And that must have been exciting for you, because now you are a server. So that's fantastic. Your cousin has had a tremendous influence on you, because now you're a server in your parish. So thank God for your server, your cousin. That's a male or female cousin?
Yes. Amen.
It's a thing. Yeah. So thank God for her example, that she's encouraged you now to be a server. We have another. So I have another question.
Before you go, can I share my
Of
can
course.
I share can I share my
Yes. No, go ahead.
because I was intrigued by the question. My first memory as a toddler Imagine that, as a toddler. Now, when I was going to church in those days, you couldn't speak when the priest was speaking. So my grandparents used to tell me whenever the TP sends you all to shh. And I remember walking, we used to go to church in a school. And I walked up while the priest was officiating, and I walked up and I said, shh, no talking. And that's one of the memories that stuck in my head. So when children talk in church now, I remember I'm paying for my sins. Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay, but that's entertaining. That's entertaining. So we have some really amusing. So that might come. So what then? I don't know if maybe some of you want to share. What might be your fondest memory of church? It might be confirmation class. It might be being in church meetings. It might even be mass. So tell us, what was your fondest memory of being in church? Tyrese, how about you?
Miss, well, when I was smaller, I used to always sit on these chairs, and these chairs used to have where sometimes you could go on your knees and you pray. I was young, so I used to lift it up and put it on the chair. And sometimes when the church go down, I just move my foot and throw it down. My mom would be so mad every time. And I used to run around the church every time. So it was another thing.
That's good. What about you, Aisha? What's your fondest memory of being in church?
I would say confirmation class and the first time serving.
And the first time serving. Andrea, see you looking up there. You're trying to figure out what was your fondest memory, but you might have a lot. So tell us.
Yes, I have a lot. So similar to Cordell, my church, Grace Church, was a family church, pretty small community and congregation also too. I think my fondest memory about it was actually being part of my youth group. There were persons that were actually part of the group that I actually went to school with, and persons that I actually grew up with within church. And I think the best memories I have were the after activities. Normally, when we come to church, the youths were responsible for the cleaning and the preparation of the church for the Sunday. So we would come to church on a Saturday afternoon, and we would do all the sweeping, mopping, cleaning, and all of those different things as part of our activity. But I think the most enjoyable thing for me was actually the activities after. We played cricket, football. We went exploring all around the churchyard. We had a lot of different games and different things that really engaged us a lot. So I think those were some of my best memories. That and also confirmation. Seeing the large number of persons who were coming out to give you that support as you were welcome into the body. So I think those were some of my best memories. Definitely the youth group activities.
Okay, cool. Brian, what about you? Tell us your fondest memory of church.
I would say confirmation class, and when I was younger, and I would go to church with my grandmother every so often. So I enjoyed those memories.
Well, actually, that brings me to another question. I want us to share now who has been that person who has helped us most in our faith. Who's been that person who's been like that stalwart for us in faith, and that person who really brought us into our faith and knowledge of God. It could be a grandparent, it could be a parent, maybe a teacher in school, a teacher in Sunday school, a priest. Who was that person for you who really pulled you into the faith, drew you into the church? Sean, tell us, who was that person for you?
Can I have a little bit more time to think?
Sure, no problem.
Well,
Safari, what
Sean,
about?
Well,
Maybe.
it was my mom who influenced me, because since I was 3, I was involved in church services, and I started Sunday school, so it was basically my life, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. What about you, Tyrese? Who was that person for you?
His mic is muted.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, we're
Yes.
hearing. Go ahead. Who was that person for you?
I used to really, it was just my grandmother, because she always used to go to church and I couldn't really get away from it. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go with her every time. And she's enjoying it, so I will enjoy it too.
Okay. What about you, Father Mon?
Yeah, I was going
Influenced
to
you
say
to
that
the point
just
of
like,
becoming a priest.
yes, actually, my grandmother, and she still talks to me. And I said she's dead, long dead now. But my grandmother used to be that person who would be helping. I mean, she worked in the village where I used to go and visit her. But she was the person who would prepare the altar. She used to work. She was not the sexton, but she used to help, including prepare the priest vestments, and she also had these two big jars that she would make homemade wine that he would sometimes use on the altar. And of course, as children, we would go and interfere with the wine in ways we're not supposed to. But it was fun. It was so much fun because there was so much excitement about the preparation for the service, because she would be there, get up early in the morning, go make sure that the altar was prepared. And of course, she would have us in tow, my sisters and I. And of course, we would have to get all the vestments ready. And it was actually, we used to look forward to that. It was like a kind of highlight, on, especially on a Sunday morning. It was a little village in the back of Philippines, but it was, as children, we felt really special. And one of the things that she used to do as part of her own devotion is she used to feed the people in the village. And I remember saying to her, "But Granny, how come you feeding the poor and you poor? How does that work?" And she used to tell me, "Shush, shush, child." But it stayed with me that with whatever little she had, she found a way of helping others. And those are the things that have stayed with me all my life. That there was this woman who, back in the day, people didn't have any big fancy degrees and education, etc. She just found a way of, that was her service to God. And those things have remained deeply embedded with me all my life. So I suppose it influenced my own attitude towards service and service of people.
Amen. Thank you for that, Father Mon. And that takes me to the next point, and I want to ask you this question, Cordell. How has, with the kind of grounding you would have received, because you are active in your parish, with the kind of grounding that you would have received in your faith, how has your faith pulled you through at times? How has that relationship with God pulled you through in your years thus far?
Well, I would start by answering the questions that you asked. So for me, it was my grandmom and my mother, right? And when they said it takes a village, because I grew up in a prayer group, and that prayer group was basically interfaith. So they had multiple persons from the community would meet usually on a Monday evening, where we would sit, pray, and that would happen, move from house to house. And to me, that really made an impact, especially in my prayer life, and going through school and youth work, keeping the faith, because it has been a struggle. And really and truly staying grounded at times, because it's very easy to become distracted. So sometimes, you would see persons going through their hardship, as Father Mon was sharing, and you're wondering, well, how? And then you would see through your life, through your family, through giving, through how they live, the interaction, and just by association, how, you freely give, you freely receive. Sometimes you may hear the church need a donation for something, and I would hear my mother say, I might ask for something, and she'd be like, I have no money, but let it have a fundraiser in the church. Oh, I had to get a donation for that, I had to get 2 tickets for this, and it's like, wait, that's what you tell me I had no money. But you would see that you freely give and you would never lack, because I can't ever remember a time of being hungry or being in want, because, she always gave to the church, whether it be time or talent, and there I am, giving through time and talent. And, my share would be I think that was a question at the end. What is something that you would leave with the young people? And for me, it would be seek ye first. Sometimes you might be like, nah, this is a priority, or you have this to do instead. But if you continue to seek God first and recognize that He is the main reason we are here, He's the reason that we have breath, we have life, we are in this position that we are in, give God what is His, and you would see everything fall into place. Nothing too hard, no time too much, in simple ways that we could just seek God, and you would see things align. Sometimes I'm like, wait, church today, and very few times, you sacrifice school and other priorities for church. So like on a Sunday, my friends know if I had a lime, it's after lunch. So I try to do an early service on Sunday, and then we had the rest of the day to lime. So it's really, for me, seek God first. And yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Cordell. Andre, I'm coming to you, and then Sean, I'm going to come to you. So Andre, tell us, how has your faith been really like a rock for you?
Well, similar to Cordell, I have been very much involved in my church life. I have to give thanks to my grandmother. She is still alive, 102. So I think that she is a person that who has really involved and make sure that I have been involved in church all my life. Um, she has been a person that has always given me Bible scriptures, has always given inspirational quotes, and always asks you that you seek God, give God His thanks, give God His praise, and no matter through what hard times or through what times that you may be going through, you always give God thanks. And I think that is part of where my faith comes from. We all struggle with many different things in our lives, go through many different trials, tribulations. But through it all, I think we should all remember to just give thanks. And I think that is part of where my faith comes from, giving thanks. Through difficult times, even through the good times, we must give thanks. And I think that is where my faith has really evolved, or at least really set that foundation in. Just by giving thanks to God through any situation, no matter how small it is, no matter how big it is. That is where my faith has really really stood its time.
Thank you very much for that, Andre. So Sean, tell us, God is always answering prayers. Do you have any recent memories of where He answered a prayer for you and you really saw how God works in your life?
Yes. Yes. So when I was doing SEA, I was worried about time and stuff like that. I was worrying about a lot of things, and I prayed, and I got to first choice, and I did it within the time. So that shows how God was there for me, and during the test, and He guided me through the answers.
Thank you very much, Sean.
This year we celebrate 150 years of discipleship in the Trinidad and Tobago Anglican Diocese. What does it mean for you to be part of such a tradition, and how would you like to see us move forward?